we're going to look at self-de-armoring some more. Now, really, once you know how to de-armor yourself with your breath, and you've mastered the antidote to Mulabandha, so Ujjayi breathing out through the mouth, focus on the throat so that vibration's there, and you've got a good relationship with your pelvic floor and a soft belly, you can really make up any de-armoring techniques that you like once you have these foundational skills. Some of my favorites for self-de-armoring are just simply like this. I'm going to find this breath. You might want to meditate first for 5 or 10 minutes or do the shaking, warm up the body. It's good to alternate. We're really looking for the nuances between relaxation and action and the different points in our breath. So really we just have to keep playing with how we de-armor the body to find the subtler levels. So what we're going to do is you're going to find this breath. You're going to take these 2 fingers and you're going to come to your navel around this area, and you're just going to start to work with the breath, just pinching and holding points in your navel. Now, your attention, your focus should go all the way to the back of the spine, what is directly behind my navel into my spine. And I kind of think of the vertebrae. When you're more used to working with energy, you can almost feel, sense sort of vortexes in the spine where energy and information comes in, very related to our chakra system, but a bit complicated for this course. So just kind of feel into the vertebrae and hold the navel. And just start to breathe. As you soften the stomach, once you really have an open body and you're used to this practice, for me, it's about relaxing the jaw and the throat. And if you watch what my jaw does, it will go for a very long time once I've found some trauma in my body. Now, if you just hold and breathe, it's not going to happen. What you need to do is soften the core and start to find the emotion and the energy that's in that spinal column. And then as the release is happening, you should be thinking about the neck and the jaw, softening, relaxing. It's kind of like the top of the spine, the occipital, around where the atlas adjustments are. But experiment and see if you can really get these movements in the jaw. The face might start to screw up. You might find to begin with, your jaw wants to move the other way. So I'm not making these movements. I'm just relaxing the body. And if the movement starts to run out, just 4 or 5 times clench the PC muscle and the pelvic floor. We're not trying to use this muscle all of the time. We're just pumping it 4 or 5 times to connect us to that energy.
And now we start to apply the exact same principles, but not on the navel. We can really de-armor any part of the body. And we're just looking to find where there's a dip or a valley where we can push in with our thumbs and our fingers. And then we just find the pain and we hold it and we press it with the breath that we've learnt until it releases. De-armoring is actually a lot more complicated than this as a practitioner, but really in self-de-armoring, this is all we need to learn, is to find the pain, to hold it, to know how to work with our breath, and start to create full body awareness at the same time. So relaxing the jaw, it's often good to connect with the toes or the fingers and just release them slightly, because the problem is very rarely where the pain is. It's always connected all the way through the body, and this immediately puts us into a mindset and a framework for working holistically. So although we're holding our pain, our focus should be seeing where that pain is connected in the body, where that pain is going to move to if it releases. And obviously we're looking for the emotional and mental correlations to our pain. And you can do this practice for as long as you like. Maybe to begin with, it's just 2 or 3 minutes. But often, once we have found some pain in the body and released it slightly, it's good to put the tongue to the tip of the mouth and go into the transformative breath, Ujjayi breathing in and out through the nose, because we'll see the chi starts to transform in our system. Now, if we're doing more aura and energy work, where we're taking the negative energy out into our body, we're allowing it to transform into our field, and we pull it back in. But we should never go into pain for long periods of time. De-armoring, we should find where the pain is, release the old energy, the stuck energy, and then allow ourselves to come into pleasure. Now, there are all kinds of different places we can press into our body. The hips are a really good one. Sometimes it's good to try and disattach our spine out of our hips. So if you try to pull your spine out of your hips and you press down at the same time, and then you use these breaths that we're learning, relax the jaw, sometimes connect with the pelvic floor and the muscles in the body, so tense, and then relax. This is all just starting to move not just energy in the body, but also how the glands and the stomach is sitting, just to bring ourselves back to a state of alignment. I think it's just to find freedom in your body. De-armoring is a great thing to do before any kind of self-pleasuring. So just don't get stuck in the pain. Feel the pain, transform the pain, move into pleasure, and make sure it's a whole body experience. I'm de-armoring my hips right now, and as you see, my body's doing all kinds of different things as I start to release the physical and the energetic tension, the sexual tension that builds up in my hips. De-armoring our abdominal is a great thing to do. So here you can see I'm starting to work on my navel as I was before, but I'm just being very more active. I'm including my pelvic floor for a few times, and I'm making sure that my conscious awareness and my breath is in my root, is in my belly, my sex. I'm not trying to control this with my mind so much. It's quite an intuitive process, although I do need to learn the basics of de-armoring and know where some of these more releasing points are. So just, you can see where I'm pressing down onto my stomach. These are all related to major arteries that go through the body. So these are great places to work. We never want to press too hard. Don't feel like you need to go deep. We're more pulling the pain out of the body. So we just need to activate the pain points, release, let the energy transform. This might sound a little repetitive right now, but we're just looking at the same thing over and over again in different scenarios, so you feel that this knowledge is really in your brain, is in your mind, and when you lay down and start a self-de-armoring practice, there's no doubt what you need to do with your breath, with whole body awareness, with your pelvic floor, with the sound you make, the places that you're going to press. Now, when we work on our stomach, it can be very good to huck under the ribs, like I'm doing here. You can see I push my hands under, and then I find these 2 points underneath our ribs. This brings us quite close to our kidneys. There's some major meridian points that run from our sexual organs to our kidneys to our heart. They're very important. And then if I just come down that line from just below my sternum, never press on the sternum too hard, but come down to press 1 or 2 points, and then you'll hit the navel. It's actually good to work the 2 side points around from the navel. If you start to study de-armoring more, you'll learn how these are related to the psoas for big releases. But at the moment, none of this really matters. We're just learning to give our stomach a big massage. Now, with my hands now, I'm showing you what to do when you're going to lay down flat on your stomach. So as I'm going to lay down on my stomach, and I'm going to put my hands underneath, I push my hands up into a pyramid kind of shape, and I try to relax into my stomach. Now, this massages my stomach, but as I do it, the rest of my body tenses up. So my pelvic floor comes up in the air, and you need a little bit of strength to do this, but I'm trying to lower my pelvis down onto the floor and at the same time lift my wrists up to make that pyramid triangle shape. I'm just going to keep moving in between, trying to get my stomach flat on the floor and my pelvis flat on the floor, while this triangle pyramid shape is coming into my stomach. Now, sometimes you might feel that the muscles in the pelvis contract more, or you might come into a sphinx or an upward cobra, and the muscles in the upper back will hold on. Again, it's very good to have an awareness and a connection with your feet and your jaw. And I'm just holding these points, and then when I find a deep place, see my pelvis is all the way down, I can let go, relax, let that energy move through the body, and then I move down and find the next point, and I try to put my hands into that pyramid position again, and then as I'm breathing out, I'm just trying to let my pelvis come down, touch the floor, and feeling the contractions, the energy releasing, the tension in my stomach, giving ourselves a belly massage really, and let energy release. There's all kinds of technical terms and techniques and things that you can study, and it's great to work with people that understand the body on a very deep level. But these are simple things you can do for yourself to release tension in your gut, in your stomach. So now you can do this again for as long as you need to. It's a very healthy, beneficial practice. Now I'm all the way down to my groin, around into our sexual organs. Most people have a lot of tension in these places. If you're brave, or when you're more experienced with de-armoring, it's a very good thing to have these worked on by a practitioner, naked, with oil work, especially for men and women. And we can do a lot with our clothes on, and we can do a lot by working on ourselves in this kind of way. As strange and as crazy as I look in these moments, it's very good. There you go. It goes all the way down. My hands are my fingers are up inside my body, and then I get a really nice release, a de-armoring release. And then as I relax, that pain starts to turn into pleasure, and it wakes up my body, and I use that chi and that prana to fuel myself. This is a really simple process, something we can all do. And then I just let my body release however it needs to. My body's not perfect and aligned. Now, everything we're learning with the navel pressing into the points of the body, we can do the same in stretching. So right now I'm just stretching my neck with the releasing breath and using the pelvic floor slightly. What's good to notice here, maybe the best way to understand what's going on. In yoga, we breathe in and out through our nose, we hold on to the electricity in our body, and we generate a lot of power. This makes us strong, it makes our muscles flexible, but it also locks in pain, trauma. So this practice is kind of the opposite to yoga. We're doing the absolute opposite way of breathing. We're breathing in through the nose, out through the mouth. We're using breath and sound to release the muscles, to release the stomach. As I've said a lot of times, when you're doing this work, if you're doing it a lot, you really need to do abdominal work to strengthen your muscles, And this way you will have a strong physical body and a strong emotional body. All of this work allows us to have a better connection with our intuition and allows more energy to run through our body as there is less tension, less resistance in the stomach. It's so simple, really. It doesn't need any scientific explanation. It's just complete common sense. As we breathe in through the nose and out through the mouth, I find where that pain hurts, and because I'm breathing out through my mouth and I'm relaxing into my parasympathetic nervous system, things hurt more. One of the other things I'm doing is really learning to let all of the breath out. So those kind of 3 breaths in with the 3-part yogic breathing, and then breathing every last bit of air out. And that helps us de-armor the body. Now, you just need to stay with your practice. It's often good to do these on your own because you don't really want people to see how strange you look, the crazy noises that you make. So again, just after we've been working on the body, it's good to breathe and just feel how energy is transforming, how you're transforming. Never de-armor for too long. Always go back to pleasure in the body. Can be very good to work on the face, on the jaw. There's so much we can do, and you really just need to explore. As we said at the beginning, in self-de-armoring, the best thing to do is to make up your own exercises and trust your body. And you'll always learn a lot if you work with a practitioner, and it's very good to work with other people and de-armor yourself. I would say try to de-armor yourself at least once a week.